my roommates basically asked me like, oh, like what's your goals here for the year? Like what the coach tell you and all that stuff. And I'm telling them open book. So I open up to these guys thinking they're my roommates and I can trust them. And then the next day they went and told the whole team about it. And because of this, that literally led to the whole team kind of shutting me out for a couple months and some pretty hardcore bullying at this school. So the whole point here is for me to show you how I actually went through it, what my thought process was like, and then, you know, what actually came out of it, what good came out of these situations. What's going on, guys? This is Braden from Advancement Hockey Advising here, and today we're going to be talking about the top 3 hardest moments that I've actually gone through in hockey. Now, by no means is this video easy to make. I was debating for a few months now making this video or not, but honestly, I want to, you know, show this out to you guys, to show the struggles that I've really been through as unfiltered as I possibly can, so you understand that, you know, I've been through hard things and that we all go through hard things, especially in hockey. It's a tough sport to go through, and I want you guys to know that you're not alone, and actually there's some good that can come out of the hard things. It really builds character and a bunch of other things too, and it's things that you wouldn't have even thought of going through these challenges. So as much as it was hard for me to live through these, and it's not going to be fun telling you guys about it, the whole point here is for me to show you how I actually went through it, what my thought process was like, and then, you know, what actually came out of it, what good came out of these situations. So hopefully you guys appreciate this video here. It's not an easy one for me to make, but hopefully you guys get some value out of it here. If you do, please destroy that like button. It really goes a long way for the algorithm and for more people to see this video, and consider hitting that subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss another one moving forward. All right, let's dive right into the top 3 things that I dealt with in hockey. All right, so the first moment, and this one was really a tough one, probably the hardest one out of all of them, I would say, and that was getting bullied in prep school. So when I was 15, I went to Ontario Hockey Academy. Before then, like, I was a pretty happy kid and all this kind of stuff, but moving over prep school, I was away from home for the first time. That was a huge adaptation. It was so much uncertainty that I really was homesick for the first month. What didn't help on top of this is the first few nights where I was staying there, me being a naive kid and a very trusting kid. Honestly, I had a very trusting childhood. Some kid, like my roommates basically asked me like, oh, like what's your goals here for the year? Like what the coach tell you and all that stuff. And I'm telling them open book what the coach told me. It's like, hey, like this guy really thinks I'm gonna be like one of the top players here. Like I see myself as a skilled player, all that stuff. So I open up to these guys thinking they're my roommates and I can trust them. And then the next day they went and told the whole team about it. They told everyone like, this guy thinks he's better than everyone, blah, blah, blah. And because of this, that literally led to the whole team kind of shutting me out for a couple months and some pretty hardcore bullying at this school. So that really wasn't a fun experience. It really made me not trust a lot of people for a while. And still to this day, sometimes I put some walls around certain people in terms of trust. Probably for that reason, honestly, it was pretty traumatic. And it's tough because you trust, like it's your roommates, right? You think you're gonna trust them, have a great relationship with them, and then they go around and do that, you know, and it results in like bullying, you know, people not passing you the puck, people giving you cheap shots in practice, all that stuff. So it was tough, but what I've learned from that lesson, one is how to deal with bullying, how to kind of address it. And we made a video a couple weeks ago, actually, if you want to click it up here, you can, but we talked about how to deal with hazing and bullying in hockey. So it taught me how to do that in a much more mature fashion at a young age. From this experience, I learned how to not be homesick, how to, you know, survive on my own without my parents' help. And overall, I learned that, you know, you have to know who to trust, okay? You can't just be an open book to absolutely everybody. You have to like open up and filter like to the level that you trust a person. So that's what I learned from this situation, and moving forward it actually served me in junior hockey and college hockey as well. So it wasn't fun to deal with. It was pretty difficult, but I got some key lessons out of it, and I learned some things. So I think there was definitely some silver linings that came out of it. All right, number 2 hardest moment. Oh, this one stings, honestly. It's when I got released from my first junior team that I played with halfway through the season. So basically it was in North Bay. I was 18 years old, first junior season, and everything was really going well at first. I was one of the top defensemen there back when I played defense, and basically I was doing quite well. But then after a while, I feel like for me, I started getting a little bit complacent. I wasn't showing up to workouts. I was kind of like showing up to practices like 15 minutes before, not warming up before, like not doing the things day in, day out that make you successful. And from there, like I got injured a little bit, you know, and then when I got back in, I wasn't playing quite to the same level that I was. And at the same time, I was dealing dealing with a really bad billet and I didn't really speak up to anybody about it. And all of that kind of culminated together to me just not showing up at my best. And unfortunately, this was a championship team. It's a team that actually ended up winning the entire championship. It was a bit more salt in the wound right there. But basically they just called me in the office. They're like, hey, like, you know, we know what's going on with the billet. It's not going well. On the ice, we kind of seen you slip and we're going to have to let you go. And honestly, like, I was in shock. It was very tough. And when I got back home, like the period back home for like about a month, it was very, very difficult. Because the problem is, like, when you get released at that point in the season, it's so hard to get on another team. I had an advisor, wasn't very good, to be honest, wasn't answering the phone. So I didn't have another team to go to. And I tried contacting teams on my own, but as you guys know, it's pretty tough if you're doing it on your own. You don't really have the contacts. You don't really know who to talk to. It's very difficult. And I ended up not really playing for the rest of the season. I think I played a couple junior B games with my local team just to get on the ice, but I didn't really have anywhere to go. And it's only until the following season that I actually played hockey. So it was definitely a dark time. It was very difficult to go through, but it taught me, again, there's always a silver lining. It taught me that one, complacency is the enemy. You can never get complacent. And after that, I never got complacent again. I always showed up, gave my best, did the right daily habits and all that stuff. So it taught me that. And it taught me that if you have a bad billet, it's really important to speak up early. Don't just take it. Don't just leave with it, because unfortunately they're going to escalate the situation. It's going to get to the coaches. So it taught me to do that and to really make sure that you speak up, you don't get complacent, and that you give your best. Okay. Really important to go about this. Again, it was a tough life lesson. I think my career could have definitely, you know, been a little bit different if I knew what to do back then. All right, third hardest moment. Actually, I thought I said number one was the hardest, but this might have been the toughest one, because to this day, I think it was wrong. And basically, this is one I don't talk about a lot because it still really stings and it's more recent. Okay. And this is when I got cut from the NCAA D3 team at Trine my junior year. Okay, I really don't talk about this, and it's the first time I'm opening up on camera about it. So basically, I was at Western New England for 2 years playing NCAA D3 hockey there. First year went really well. Second year, I got injured a lot. I was in and out of the lineup. And me and the coach just weren't seeing eye to eye anymore. And I just decided, you know what, I think it's best. And I talked to the coach about it. We have a good relationship today, but I just said, listen, I think it's best if I, you know, move on and look elsewhere, because my spot in the lineup the following year wasn't certain. So he said, sure, like, you could talk to other teams. So I contacted other universities. Finally, you know, the one most interested was Trine. They're like, hey, like, we're starting a new program. We really want you there. Like, we're looking for transfers to be leaders on the team. I was like, great, this sounds good. Got a really good financial deal there. Went over there, it was great. And the plan was 100% to be on the NCAA D3 team, no doubt. But then I found out that there was an ACHA D2 team and an ACHA D3 team. I didn't really know what ACHA was back then. It wasn't really on my radar, and I wasn't too worried about it. I was like, you know what, we're gonna do well, and everything's gonna be fine. The plan's to be NCAA D3. Basically, I find out, like, there's, you know, about 100 recruits there between the three teams. I'm like, it's kind of weird. Maybe not 100, but like 80 or something like that. There's a lot of players there between the three teams that we had. And I was like, okay, that's a bit strange, but it's okay. Like, I was confident in my abilities. I knew I was gonna do well at camp, which I did, honestly, in terms of like fitness testing, in terms of like production on the ice. And you can probably check with every single player that was there. Like, I was in the best shape I ever was. I was ready. I was like producing on the ice. I was playing really well. And unfortunately, I had a really tough schedule because my major was biochem. And with the NCAA D3 practice schedule, basically I wasn't able to make 2 practices out of the 4 that week. And when I had the meeting with the coach, I thought like I completely destroyed the camp. Like, I was gonna be smooth sailing. I thought I was gonna be a leader on the team. He's like, listen, Braden, like, you're good, but you're not that good where if you miss like 2 out of the 4 practices a week, you know, that I can allow that. And for that reason, I don't think it's best for you to stay on my team. I want you to be a leader on the ACHA D2 team. And you can just imagine when you hear a bomb drop like that, when the expectation's not there, it's completely like, you know, life shattering. It was incredibly tough to hear. And then I was like, actually, I never really argue with coaches, but I was arguing with him here. I was like, man, like, did you not see the production and what I brought to the table here? Like, did this not make sense? He's like, yeah, I saw, but like, you know, you weren't like the best player out here where you were that elite level player that I think that it would make sense for you to miss these practices. So for that reason, I'm not going to take you. And I won't lie, like, for about a couple weeks, I was contemplating leaving the school and not continuing with hockey. It was very, very difficult to go through. I couldn't believe the bomb that got dropped on me. It was tough. And there's a reason why I haven't opened up till now about it. But again, there's always a silver lining that comes out of situations. The ACHA D2 coach is a great coach. We had a very good team that year because other guys that thought they were going to be NCAA D3 ended up there. And this team was an incredible team. It's the most fun I think I've ever had out of 2 years. We won so much. We had an incredibly good team. We went to nationals both years. The coach was brilliant. And honestly, I got to be the captain of the team for 2 years. I got to be the leader of an incredibly good team. And honestly, it's the best time I've had in hockey for 2 years. Now, conversely, on the NCAA D3 team, it was a new team and they really struggled for those 2 years. They really weren't winning. It wasn't a great atmosphere, as people can attest out of all my buddies that are there, and they weren't really happy. So yes, it would have been nice to be an NCAA D3 player for 4 years, not 2, but I think that it happens for a reason. I got to have some really good leadership positions. We got to be a winning team, be part of a winning culture, and you know, I am where I am today because of that partly. So I think overall there's some good that came out of it, even though it was very difficult. So there you have it, guys. Top 3 difficult moments that I dealt with in hockey. Hopefully you guys got some value out of it and you see that even though things are tough, you have to keep pushing forward if you really want this goal. And there's always some good on the other side if you push forward. If you're resilient, if you build that up, if you do hard things every day for when the inevitable does happen to you, where it's tough, you just push through, and that way you can actually inspire others to do the same, and a lot of good can come on the other side. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you haven't already, definitely destroy that like button. It really goes a long way for other people to see this kind of video, and consider hitting that subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss another video moving forward. If you have any stories that you want to share, any comments, anything like that, feel free to drop a comment down below or send us a private email at info@ahadvising.com and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. All right guys, that is it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you on that next one.